Hi guys, George here from Zero Period Productions, and today we're playing The Forgotten City. What started as a Skyrim mod years ago has grown into a full game, which just released on Steam, Xbox One, Series S and X, and PlayStation 4 and 5, with the Switch release coming later this year. If you played the original mod years ago, you know the basics. You journey into a cursed city that lives by one rule: if one person breaks the law, everybody dies. While the original was set in Skyrim, the story itself was never strictly part of the Elder Scrolls universe, which allowed the mod author, Nick Pierce, to go on to form a small studio and make a full game and realize the full potential of his story and setting. There will be some recurring plot points and characters from the original mod, but The Forgotten City was built to stand out plenty from its original debut. I have been asked to only play up to a certain point because in the end this is a mystery game, and they want to make sure that people are able to experience that for themselves. So this is going to be a mini-series of videos rather than a full playthrough. Either way, I'm excited and I'm ready to dive in. This is a mystery adventure with multiple endings, where it's thoughtful conversation and exploration, not brute force. Well, I'm in the wrong place. I'm already in love with the music. Can I just say that much?
Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change.
Did you take my change?
So, wanna tell me who you are?
All my change better still be there is all I'm saying. Select your body type. Yes. Select your skin tone. Okay, I'm guessing I don't really see my face at any point, but that's a cool addition that just for seeing my hands and everything I get to choose. Player. George, I'm very straightforward.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river?
I was swimming.
What's the last thing you remember?
Oh, and this chooses your background. There are 4 different backgrounds: archaeologist, soldier, fugitive, and amnesiac. I'm gonna go for archaeologist. I feel like that might be the most useful.
Oh, you're an archaeologist? Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped, or injured, or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him. If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please?
Can I ask you some questions first?
Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. What do you want to know?
Just a little pushy. Who is Al?
He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is.
So you don't really know him either, but you're like, ah, you guys will like each other, sure. What's your story?
Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean?
You're not even gonna tell me your name? You fish me out of the river, and take the few pennies that I have, and that's it?
Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you.
Not ominous at all, alright. Why don't you want to tell me?
Alright, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
All those Karen memes must have really ruined that name, huh?
Yeah, something like that. But right now, I have bigger problems, like finding Al.
What can you tell me about these ruins?
Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts.
You're very focused on this man you just met. That's all I'm saying.
You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber.
Have you tried calling for help?
What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me.
Alright.
Great. So you're ready to go look for Al?
I'm going in for the priceless artifacts, but I'll keep an eye out for him. I just say I'll pass and it just says game over right now and that's it. Thanks for playing. I'm in.
Thank you. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Please, hurry. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Flashlight. A heavy-duty, battery-powered flashlight. I can examine the item. That is indeed a flashlight. That checks out. So I know this is in the Unreal Engine. There's something about the character models and their faces that remind me a lot of Civilization. I don't know if it's just me. Civilization 6, especially the way that the leaders look when they talk. Which I think is very fitting given the setting and everything as well. Yeah, Unreal just... you can make some really, really beautiful games in it. And this is proof of that right there. I know that the game's not super combat focused, which is why I didn't choose the soldier. The soldier gets a gun with 5 bullets, and that's it. And I'm the kind of person where you give me those 5 bullets, and I'll get to the end of the game without ever using them, because I'm too scared to use one and possibly, you know, miss or just have it be a waste or anything.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation, or a warning. Alworth.
Alworth what? I will probably have to go through and adjust the audio volumes and stuff, the different audio sliders a few different times, because some of the ambient noises, like the waterfalls and stuff, get real loud. Now here's the other thing. I was just playing through the mod, the original, the other day, because I did want to see some of the similarities, how it was similar, and yeah, I'm definitely getting some similar vibes right now, which is more than okay with me. I feel like I'm playing a movie. And I'm very much okay with that. A young Roman woman in a pose of lamentation. A Roman gladiator mid-stride. What could have made a gladiator flee? Alworth. Oh, okay. I just pushed the door. There's a little bit of stuttering anytime there's a quick save or an autosave, it seems. Just something I've noticed so far. Al? Karen really wants to find you. Hell if I know why, she just met you too. I know she's real worried about it. A golden statue of an old man wearing modern clothing. This must be Al. But how is that possible?
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only two options. Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now, and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
So that's why you choose Soldier. Well, Karen told me to come here. So that's why you choose Soldier. You start with the gun, you shoot yourself, and then hey, freedom. Because this guy you've never met, who you just heard about from some lady who stole your change, is just immediately saying, hey, I told you to come down here, and now I'm dead. Now I'm telling you, there's no way out. And rather than try and do anything, you might as well just end it all. Whoa. I love the soundtrack. Can I get the soundtrack? Is that going to be on sale? I sure hope so. A Roman relief depicting a great circular portal and two women. I wonder who they could be. Uh-oh. Hi.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Praying, you know. I'm George and I got lost.
Oh, is that right? Well, just make sure you don't get lost in any other sacred places you're not supposed to be. Can't have you disrespecting the gods by accident, can we now? But listen, most folk seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine.
That a threat? Your laws?
Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming?
Alright, lead the way.
Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now.
I like the auto-follow option.
Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer.
Ooh.
Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Can I become magistrate? Oh.
politics. I'd stay clear of it and her if I were you. She's... it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, you know, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Hilarious. You're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
Can I see my
What was
feet?
that?
I can't.
What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please.
Word must travel fast. I just got here. How do you guys know? How does anyone but Galerius know? What's this about?
I expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the Golden Rule. It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later today.
I am really curious if I can interfere with the election. I really hope I can.
Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. Who's up these stairs?
I bet you missed the Legion then. There's a few things that I really love. First off, the reflections. Second off, I love that everyone is marked as a stranger until they're introduced, until they say their name or someone else mentions their name. It's a little thing, but given that this is meant to be a mystery, I think that's fantastic.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
I'm George.
A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of a man of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community. Equitia will be delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains many hundreds of years ago.
I just want to get out of here. It's beautiful.
Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin?
Can't say I have. Yes, and he just goes, what do you mean, yes? Just slaps me across the face and the whole world ends. Can't say I have. Wait, well, no, I don't think I have.
Nor could I, until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away.
What counts as a sin here? Can I wear socks with sandals?
An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes, or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder.
No socks
But
and
beyond
sandals,
that,
got
it was
it.
more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea. What is legal isn't always moral, and many of your laws and customs are considered barbaric where I'm from. Oh, can I tell him where I'm from?
Barbaric? Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire is the most civilizing force in the known world. Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness. For 800 years she has borne great statesmen, philosophers, poets, artists, and engineers.
You know what lasted?
We have
Rome.
comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless warring tribes all across the Mediterranean and beyond, from Gallia to Judea. All our citizens are treated the same, regardless of the color of their skin or their sexual preference. Can you say the same?
Alright, feel a
When
little
our
cold
people
out
are
here.
starving, they are given food rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before the magistrate. Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us barbaric?
My mistake. Don't you persecute Christians?
You mean the blasphemous cult responsible for burning down half of Rome last year? It's hard to blame the people for being angry about that.
Do you practice collective punishment?
Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all these warring tribes without a disciplined, formidable legion.
Don't women have fewer rights than men?
Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their fathers and husbands.
My hubris is, looking pretty good right about now. Don't your laws allow for slave ownership? He's gonna say, of course! Why wouldn't they?
Of course.
Yep.
What else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And
Besides, there are laws for their protection as well.
Oh, I'm sure of it. Don't you people watch blood sports for entertainment? Of course! We have no television!
On occasion, but our gladiators are almost all volunteers seeking glory, or condemned prisoners who would have been executed anyway. I do not see the harm.
Where I'm from, we consider those things to be abhorrent.
Well, right now, you're a long, long way from home. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you.
Do you have any suspects?
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better.
The shadows cast across faces in real time is really, really, really well done. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but I find myself just kind of staring at the shadow cast by his brow. How do I know you're not the person responsible?
What reason could you possibly have to suspect me, of all people?
Fair point. For now.
I'm glad you think so. Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what is about to happen.
Come on, tell me what you really think. Just between us bros.
Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me out of office so that they can pursue their own misguided political agenda. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very carefully at them if I were you.
How does this ritual work?
All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
I did see human remains in the temple.
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you?
I'll do my best.
Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for.
What did you mean when you said she sent me? I'm just not familiar with the name, so Proserpina sent me.
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you?
Yes I do. And he's like, what about your clothes? I'm like, oh, shit, you're right. I'm from 2,000 years in the future.
2,000 years? That is unfathomable.
Want to see my flashlight?
Tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us? Of this city?
You'd all been turned into golden statues.
I have imagined it. Our downfall 1,000 times. But it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
If I do this, will you help me get back to my own timeline?
If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the Golden Rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
Sure, why not? Why can't you investigate? It's gonna be the same thing if he's gonna say, I've been at this so long that I can't look at it objectively anymore.
Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Alright.
Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule?
I'm in.
Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
I'll get started.
Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
I'll get right on it. So can I just... Okay, I can zoom. I want to kind of figure out the controls and everything, so I might take a second to fool around with that. One of the first things I tried to do, and I'm not gonna lie, is I immediately tried to click to see if I could take out my fists. I was wondering if I could just take out my fists and just punch him in the back of the head.
Are they?
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Unfortunately, not. And then I tried 1 to see if that would do it. Nope, 1's just my flashlight. 2 is also my flashlight. 3 is not my flashlight. We solved that problem. We solved that predicament.